In this video, we're going to talk about the biggest threat that's facing the SEO industry and why nobody's talking about it or wants to acknowledge it. And it could have potentially devastating impacts on your business if you work in the SEO space. Let's get into it. For those of you who do not know, I own and operate 3 different marketing consulting agencies, all of which offer search marketing as at least one of the services for clients. And something that I have to constantly do is question, are we constantly doing what's best for our client? Are we constantly putting our clients in the best position to succeed? Are we always doing the most effective tactic to get our clients more customers the fastest way? And over time, the past couple of years, that question, when I ask it against search marketing, specifically SEO, the answer has generally been no, because of how fast Google has changed and how quickly they've really eroded search results in favor of other products inside of search. And this has really been coming to a head lately because a lot of our clients over the last year, 18 months have been asking us, hey, you guys are doing a great job. You're ranking us for the keywords that we want. We see our traffic and impressions going up, but our phone calls and our leads aren't really with that. Do you know why? So I have been studying, I have been looking at data, and I have been talking to other SEOs. In this video, I really want to dive into why that's happening, and again, why I think SEO is being eroded as a service so quickly, and what we can do to combat this to make sure that we're always putting our businesses, our websites, our clients in the best position to succeed. I think the best way to do that is to look at what's actually happening with websites and in the SERP. So this is the Ahrefs estimated organic traffic for one of our clients. You can see they have got this hockey stick growth. And I see this all the time on Twitter, on LinkedIn, that people are like, hey, SEO case study, look at how much impressions and traffic we're getting. I'm gonna beat that down in a second. And I look at this, and when I tell my team, I say, I don't give a shit. This to me is not success anymore. This to me is tools that have not caught up with what's actually happening in Google. And you can crosswalk this against Google Analytics. What you'll see a lot of the times is in Search Console impressions going up, but clicks not really following. And the reason for that is because there's so much noise and additional products inside of Google search that traditional listings are just not getting any sort of attention, clicks, or even passing through to get enough traffic to become leads or conversions. So this website here is one that works in the lighting space. They sell lights, they do lighting installation, etc. So again, you see a massive traffic increase here. When we show this to a client, they're like, great, and this buys us some time to do more things to really get this things to pick up. But in reality, what's happening here is they're not seeing more conversions off of this. So we come over to Google and we search for one of their keywords. And I purposely did a long tail search here because if I did a head search, I know people are like, oh yeah, of course, it's not a high intent keyword. This is a very high intent keyword. If you're ranking for this, you're probably gonna get purchases off of this. But when we search for this, I mean, my goodness, look at all the stuff that's happening here. The amount of attention fracturing that's happening in search engines now is nuts. And this is, to me, the #1 reason why you might see traffic or impressions going up, but you don't really see clicks and you really don't see conversions going with it, because you could be getting impressions for this search. I'll show you in a second. So if you look in Search Console, you'll see your impressions going up, but not your traffic, because look at how much distraction is in here. You've got a sidebar filter, right? It's essentially an e-commerce website inside of Google. And this is what Google wants, and I'll explain that in a second. But we've got sponsored, we've got more sponsored. We've then got organic product images here. Then we've got people also asked, and then we finally get into the true organic listing. So think about it. We could be ranking first for this keyword, right? But the only way for the searcher to actually click on that and convert off that would be to scroll all the way down here and show up here. And this to me is a big problem that tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush have to solve for, because this to me is extremely misleading data. If you look in analytics or Search Console, the clicks do not match this. And I understand that they have click-through rate data, they also have SERP noise data, but they are not keeping up with what's happening in Google. They're just not. So this data to me is really moot. I actually, when my team sends me this, I'm like, I don't want to see this data anymore, because it's not helpful, it's not useful, and it's actually misleading, especially if you're presenting this to clients, because they're going to see this going up, but this is fairy tale land. This increase in traffic, again, which I see people beating their chest about on Twitter and LinkedIn all the time, does not mean business results, right? This is not what clients are paying you for. This is not what SEO is about. SEO is about acquiring customers, not acquiring traffic for the sake of traffic. It's a huge bone that I have to pick with the industry that we need to start wrapping our head around, and we need to start coming to terms with, and we need to start changing how we do this stuff, or we will be out of business. So that's just one result. This is an e-commerce based result. Now let's look at another one here for sofas. My wife is currently looking for a new sofa for our house, and we search for this. And again, it's the same type of thing. The amount of noise that's happening here not even to mention the fact that you have to compete with these massive big brands. We have to ask ourselves, is this the best way to get new clients for a website that sells couches? And I'm not even talking about the fact that people just don't go to Google, search for this and buy it there, especially when it comes to a large e-commerce purchase. They've got 10 tabs open. They're looking on Pinterest, they're looking on TikTok, they're asking their friends. So what ends up happening with search is somebody might come and search for something like this, right? And search is going to take credit for it because they're going to go through and they're going to buy through this search. And in analytics, it's going to be like, yeah, organic search drove another purchase for it. In reality, we're not really crosswalking that against what they search for and finding out that it was a branded search and that was the end of the journey and not the beginning. And search did not actually influence that purchase like we thought that it would. And understandably so, because Google is always going to change and optimize their search results based on what searchers want. Searchers don't want to scroll down here and open up all these different tabs. They want it in front of their face. They want no clicks. They want to see pictures. They want to see pricing. They want to see reviews. And we need to start embracing this as SEOs because too many people are fighting it. Too many people are still doing SEO like it's 2012, 2018, expecting different results when Google is like, we don't care about these listings. We don't make money off this. You've been spamming our results for decades now. We don't care about you. We care about making money, so we're always going to put ads. Ads are all above the fold here. And then we care about delivering what's best for the consumer. And I understand these organic results, right? And this is kind of my point. Ranking here, is it the same as ranking here? Is it the same process? This is what we need to be focused on. This is far from an SEO is dead video. I'm not here to argue with that at all. Like I said, I'm heavily invested in this space, and as long as people are using Google, we still have an opportunity to make money off of these searches, but we have to change our approach. And that begins with hyper specialization, especially if you're an agency. This is why I push so much inside of our program, the Blueprint Training, that you can't just work with everyone. You got to specialize because every single search triggers a different search result. So if you're working with a company that does floodlights and a company that does sectional sofas, and then you're also working with a company that does HVAC or an attorney or a dentist, it's a completely different process because what we're optimizing for is not the same. Back in the past, we were optimizing for the 12 blue links at the bottom. It's different. It's a different process now. There's local, there's ads, there's shopping, there's all sorts of different products and things happening within Google that we need to specifically optimize for. And if you're spreading yourself too thin across too many different types of clients or websites, you're never going to be able to get the depth of knowledge or execution to actually get results there. This one is for HVAC, right? I love this as a niche for SEOs, by the way. But look, we have here above the fold, we have local service ads, right? Then we have traditional pay-per-click. Keep in mind, these are two different products. This is through local service ads. These are pay per call. This is actually tied to a Google business profile. So this is a local only offering. And then down here, we've got the traditional pay-per-click listings. Then we've got our maps pack here, local SEO. Then we've got our organic results. We've got our people also ask. And what do you see here also when you see the organic results here? We see Yelp, we see Angie's List, we see Today's Homework, we see Indeed, we see Angie Again, we see BBB, we see Thumbtack, right? This is the first actual organic result that we see here. So again, let's say we're working with an HVAC company, right? And they want to rank for HVAC technician near me, or, HVAC technician Miami. It should trigger the same type of result. And if we come over to Ahrefs and we look in that and we're like, yo, we're ranking you on the first page for main keyword, right? You're in position 4 or 5. That's really good, is it not? And I see our keyword rankings and our impressions going up because if somebody searches for this and you're down here, you're going to get an impression triggered in Search Console, right? You're going to get an estimated traffic going up in a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush. But is it having any business impact? Is anybody actually scrolling all the way down here and navigating this minefield and clicking and calling? The answer is no. Let me save you the time. The answer on that is no, it's not happening. And I'm telling you right now, this is what Google wants. Google was trying to roll out SGE. I don't know if it's going to come out, but it was clear as day when I was testing that product out that they do not care about these listings. I mean, look, they're not even ranking websites here anymore. Why? Because searchers don't want to see them. Google's algorithm is completely optimized for searcher behavior because Google knows that the only way they stay alive is by providing the best results for searchers. So their algorithm is actually optimized based on searcher behavior. If more people are clicking on Angie's List and sticking there and staying there, then yeah, over time, this is going to send these signals back to the algorithm that these are better results than, Joe's HVAC. Like, as a consumer, I agree with that. I would much rather see reviews in pictures. That's why the Maps pack does so well. For our business, we work with law firms. We look at a search like accident lawyer near me, and we see what's happening here. We don't have LSAs triggering here, but they usually do. We see pay-per-click ads, we see Maps pack, and then we see the same thing, Fine Law, Super Lawyers. There's not a ton of actual law firm listings in here, but our data shows that the Maps pack here drives over 50% of clicks and phone calls. Right? Clicks and phone calls are mainly going here. Why? Because people can see proximity, people can see reviews, people can see the profile, they can click on it. It's like a website within Google. And this is what people want. And this is my biggest gripe about SEOs, is that we refuse to adjust or refuse to admit these things. And we still want to beat our heads against the wall and be like, yeah, we need to build content, we need to build links. Like, no, you don't. Like, for what? Why would you do that when this is going to drive the business results, and it's also going to cost you less and take less time and effort to get them results here? And oh, by the way, we can take that extra time and budget and we can set up pay-per-click ads or LSAs. And that's exactly what we do. We have a package for law firms where it's LSAs and local SEO, and it drives results in 90 days or less, and it crushes the results that come in down here. We don't build content. We don't really build a lot of links anymore, because for what? You want to compete down here? Why would you want to do that? Anybody can try and compete here, right? But in order to compete here, you have to have a verified listing. You have to have an actual office. So there's about 25 in this area that we're competing against versus thousands here that are just building landing pages and trying to jam them in there like traditional SEOs that just want to beat their head against the wall. So look, the point I'm trying to make here is that search is far from dead. It's just SEO traditionally is kind of dead, because if you're not specialized, if you're not paying attention to what's happening in that individual SERP, and you're not optimizing for the results that mean the most to your client, to your website in that specific SERP, you're going to lose. You're going to waste time, you're going to waste money, you're going to be worshiping false gods, if you will, in these keyword tools by seeing this stuff go up and patting yourself on the back when it means nothing. It's like, for what? It's traffic for the sake of traffic. So my whole thing here is that we just need to change the way that we look at SEO. It's search optimization now. Google has products within it. There's local service ads, there's pay-per-click ads, there's maps, there's traditional listings, there's people also ask, there's shopping. There's so many different products happening within Google. And the only way that you can really have success, because people are still using Google, but if you're not optimizing for the right products and the right packages within Google, then you're just never going to get the business results that you need. And again, we are here, we exist to make businesses money, period. That's it. As an SEO, your job is to get more traffic, to get more leads, to get more revenue, and that's it. And somewhere along the line, it became about beating our chest and showing traffic screenshots when that stuff doesn't matter anymore. We got to change the culture. We got to start having this conversation with ourselves, with our team, with our businesses about what really matters and what really drives a result. So if you want to stay ahead of the curve, we've got a community. $199 has all of our trainings that talks about this very specific type of stuff, how to have success with a modern SEO agency servicing clients and helping them do what matters, make money. Because if you make your clients money, you're going to make money. At the end of the day, that's why we're in business, right? So if you want to join the Blueprint.training, $199, you get access to all of our templates, all of our trainings, live events with me, and a Slack community where you can ask questions whenever you want. If not, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.